This meetup, we're targeting to understand GraphQL integration with MuleSoft. Of course, the fundamentals of GraphQL, the fundamental questions like what is it, how do we do that, and why we need GraphQL. Arun Parya is going to help us to explain this. He's a professional integration developer at Billinum India. I know him personally. He's a tremendous techie guy who loves to talk about intricacies of any technology. Arun, over to you. Thanks for your time.
So today, many people have implemented the specification in different programming language. Most common programming language supports it. So GraphQL is a relatively new technology with significant promise and growing adoption. So here we can have question like which one is better, GraphQL or REST? Means why we are using this GraphQL. So people often debate whether GraphQL versus REST is the better programming methodology. So while both GraphQL and REST are good interface for APIs, so this is not an apple to apple comparison. So there is also debate about GraphQL versus SQL again. So both are excellent options to query data, but serve different purpose. So GraphQL is best suited for the web due to its JSON friendliness and JavaScript-like syntax. So yeah, so this is next. Then why GraphQL? So here are we have some points like client can handle logic as per their requirement. So customer can have hundreds of APIs and single data request might span across accessing 10 to 20 APIs and too many requests. So GraphQL provides a single endpoint for querying data across multiple data sources. So this way, front-end developer can easily get the data and build fast and app data will be fast and stable. So traditional APIs returns data in a specific data format. Due to this reason, you often end up getting fields that you do not need. So GraphQL also lets you predefine what JSON format is the data needed in. So this way, only data you need is returned with your request. So this means that your application performs faster. This is an important factor for slow internet devices like mobile phone. So yeah, so evolve your APIs without versions. So traditional APIs have challenges with versioning and backward compatibility. So this is because the version needs to be passed in the endpoint itself, like V1 or headers. So GraphQL only returns the data that explicitly requested, so new capabilities can be added easily and front and back end teams can work independently. So the front end team can easily generate a schema from the back end without knowing the code. So the schema generated can directly be used to create queries. So yeah, next slide. So here we have use cases. Karthik, can you move to next slide? Yeah. So we have use case one and use case two. So in use case one, suppose you have REST API that returns 8 fields in response. So the field name ID, first and last name, mobile number. And you have mobile application and web application. As per the requirement, the web application expects only 6 fields, and whereas the mobile application expects only 4 fields in response. So here, according to REST API architecture, we need to create two endpoints. But with GraphQL, we can achieve the above scenario with a single endpoint without any code change. So we can say this in a demo section. The next slide. So we have use case two also. Suppose you must call multiple REST APIs. So we have multiple REST APIs like account system API, balance system API, and transaction system API. And we suppose so we have multiple REST APIs, and each API will respond with different JSON payload. So GraphQL will route multiple requests from REST API and aggregate all the response and send back the required response to the client. So GraphQL here aggregating all the data from the filtering data from the REST APIs and whatever the clients are expecting, it's filtering the data and sending to the client. Yeah. So uh, yeah. So next slide. So here GraphQL implementation with MuleSoft. So we have required Anypoint Studio 7 and JDK 1.8 and Postman. We have required to test this GraphQL with implementation with MuleSoft. So firstly, you have to download the GraphQL router that is available on GitHub as part of the open source. So currently, MuleSoft does not have the GraphQL connector. So hope soon they will add this into their bucket list. But right now, this is an open source, so you can download this GraphQL router from the GitHub. So the link is mentioned here. And after cloning or downloading the project, you have to go to the form.xml file and change the module calendar version from 1.0.0 to 1.1.3. This 1.1.3 is the latest version. So now you can go to your location where the project is cloned or downloaded, and then go to the command prompt and run the Maven clean install. So your all the dependencies related to this GraphQL router will download. So if you are doing the first time, it will take time to download all the dependencies. Yeah. So and second, so this one is the first step. You can create a simple sample Mule project in Anycon Studio, and this you can add this below dependency. So this dependency is our GraphQL dependency. So you can add this one and do the Maven clean command. So you can see the connector in your Mule palette after adding this dependency. Now step two. So here create sample REST API for account balance and transaction details. So in our use case one, we have we have multiple system API. So here we are creating the system API. So simply I have put the data like this is for the balance system API, and I have put only two fields here: balance type and amount. And in the next step, move to next step. Yeah, so here this is the account system API, and we have 8 fields: ID, first name, last name, mobile number, email address, and PIN code account. So this is our account system API data. And move to next step. Yeah, so this is a transaction system API in which I have these 4 fields. So you can create these 3 system APIs for test your GraphQL. So I have created these 3 system APIs. So now move to next step. So now we will create a customer bank experience API, and so our 3 system API is created, right? And now we will create the customer bank experience API, and in the source main resource folder we will create our schema folder. So we will create our schema for GraphQL, and its extension should be GraphQLs. So this is the extension for the GraphQL query. So here we will create the query. So first schema, we will define the schema like the type of this is the query, and then we define the account, and ID is on the basis of this ID we will fetch the data from your API. So here we put the account your type. So it will call your account object here. So we define the 8 fields here: ID, first name, last name, mobile number. So this is the query structure of GraphQL. So you have to put it inside your source main resource folder. Now move to next step. So now we will create a customer bank experience API flow as shown below. So here I have this is my path of your experience API, and in the second connector is your GraphQL router. So in GraphQL we have two connector: GraphQL router and another one we will see. So in GraphQL router you have to configure the GraphQL configuration, and the general section you have to, as it is, you can put the payload. So in next slide I will show you the how can we configure the, yeah. So here the configuration name is not required, but schema location you have to provide here. So schema customer dot GraphQL. So it will read the queries, GraphQL queries from GraphQL schemas from the your source main resource folder, and will validate. Move to next slide. So now create customer account flow, and as shown below, as shown this diagram, the configure GraphQL field resolver. So there we have two two character for GraphQL. First one is router, and second one is GraphQL field resolver. So in field resolver, you have to there's a field name is there. So you have to define this field name in your schema. So account name is we already defined in our schema. If you can if you can move up here, yes. So you line number six. Uh, Line number six, I have defined this account. So this it will validate from this account. So it will you have to provide this account into field. Go down. Yes, yeah. And in response body, you have to provide the payload simply. And now we will move to next step. Yeah. So here we will use the execute connector for getting the attributes details from the request. So we are using the Groovy script, and we are using this payload. This is the syntax for uh, getting the attributes from the request. So we are using this one, this param attribute dot get argument. Now move to next. And here in the our request component, we are calling our account system API. So previously we created three system API: account, transaction, and balance system API. So we are calling the account system API, and URI in URI parameter we are passing this payload.params.id. So because we stored our attributes inside the payload, so that's why we are passing this payload.params.id. And in the next transform message, we are simply we go to move next slide. So simply we are putting the payload. No need to do any mapping and all. So we have put the payload here in transform message, and the logger for just for logging purpose. Now for use case one. So this is the sufficient flow design for the use case one. So now if you go to the Postman collection, Postman, and you have to provide the GraphQL query. So in the Postman body section, you have to select the GraphQL. There's a GraphQL section is there, and you have to write the query for the GraphQL. So query, and query is the first syntax for the your GraphQL, and then account, and ID is equal to whatever the ID is. On the basis of the ID, you will get the details. So suppose if you are passing the first name and last name, so you will get the two details, first name and last name. And if you want to pass if you want to add another field like mobile number, address, email address, so you will get details here. You don't need to create another endpoints for creating the details. So you can modify your body here, and you will according to your requirement you can fetch the details from the application. So this is for the use case one, and to now go to the next step. So this is for the use case two. So you have to add this balance and transaction type here also. So previously we have added account type here. So previously we added account type. Now we will add balance and transaction in the same schema folder, in the same file. So you can add this balance and transaction type here, and the fields, whatever the fields you want to fetch, you have to mention here: balance type and amount and transaction ID. And in the line number, if you can see the line number 20 and 21. So I have added this balance will call your balance type and balance type object, and transaction will call your transaction type object. So this is the structure of your GraphQL query. So now move to next step. Here. So now we will create the flows for the for transaction and balance. So previously we created flows for the account type, but now we have to create the same flow for the balance and transaction. So here we will pass the in the field type. In the first image, you can see the field name is balances. So we put this field name inside the GraphQL in our GraphQL query, and simply we will just write this syntax for the reading the attributes from the request. And the third one is here we are passing the as a URI parameter, this account ID. And same, we will create the flow for the transaction. If you move to next step.
Sorry to stop you. It's a bit confusing here. So this is different flow. This is different flow. Is it?
No, the same flow. So this customer balance flow. So first, this is the GraphQL field resolver image. Second one is the execute component image, and third one is the request component.
Get it?
You
Okay.
can, yeah.
So here we are calling backend API directly.
Yes, backend our balance system API simply.
Thanks.
So and same we will create this transaction flow. So here also we have the field name should be transaction name because we put this transaction name inside the GraphQL query. So you have to pass the transaction field name here. So if you will pass incorrect field name, then you will get error because you have to always pass the same name as you mentioned inside the GraphQL query. And this is the same again. This is the script for reading the attributes, and in last request component we are calling our transaction system API and passing the account ID, payload.source.id. So we are calling here the transaction system API. Now move to the next slide. So our flow is completed now, means our all the flow is completed. Now we will check. Now move to next step. So here in the Postman, and you can create, you can make your query. So I have added this transaction and balance here. So in the same query. So previously my query till I have added this accounts, but now I have added the transaction and balances. So you will get details here according to your requirement. Suppose if you want to call, or if you want to if you need only two transaction details like transaction type and transaction amount, so you can remove the transaction date from here, and you will get only these two fields: transaction type and transaction amount. So you can modify this query, and according to your requirement you can get the details from the application. So here we are calling the three system APIs, and in experience API we have used this GraphQL router and the GraphQL field resolver. So GraphQL is taking these details from the three system API: account system API and transaction system API and balance system API. So our GraphQL, our experience API is taking this details from three system API, and GraphQL is filtering the data here according to our requirement. So if we are passing this only this 4 to 5 fields, then you will get the only 4 to 5 field data. So according to your requirement, you can get this detail here. So this is how GraphQL works. Means you don't need to add multiple endpoints for different data. So you don't need to fix your body type. So according to your requirement, you can get the details here. So this is the Postman for this second use case, and now move to next step. I think next one is the demo part, but I don't think I'm not able to share my screen. So I can show. So
Okay. We have a question Jeevan asking in the chat.
mhm.
I will read that question for you. What if the three system APIs are secured with policy? How do we access them
Yes,
using GraphQL?
yes. So this one is a simple HTTP request, HTTP API. So you can in request configuration you can provide your client ID, client secret, or you can provide the trust or certificate, SL, whatever the certificate you can provide. You can provide in this request configuration. So this one is a simple HTTP application, and you are using this GraphQL connector for filtering the data. So you
Okay.
can apply, you can use this, you can apply the policies, and you can use the this client ID, client secret here for extending it.
Okay. Jeevan, you have mic access, I guess. Probably you can ask your question if it is not clear. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What Arun says is GraphQL just is a router. Fundamentals did not change. Any API calling mechanisms did not change. So we are still using HTTP request.
Actually, we have one more question from Smriti. Like as compared to REST, is there any difficulty in server-side caching? So yeah, so one common concern with GraphQL is, especially when comparing it to REST, are the difficulties to maintain server-side cache. With actually with REST, it is easy to cache the data for each endpoint, since it's sure that the structure of the data will not change. So with GraphQL, on the other hand, it's not clear what a client will request next. So because we can modify the request, so it's not clear what a client will request next. So putting a caching layer right behind the API doesn't make a lot of sense. So for this REST API, for this GraphQL, uh, caching on server is not possible
Okay.
because our REST data is because our body is not same for every request.
Any questions, guys?
Any question?
You can unmute and ask.
We are having security thing. Yes. So Hemsagar, the like in the REST Experience API, we are having security things. Can we have the same graph? Yes, yes. So it's a simple HTTP request API. So you can provide whatever the secure policy you can apply inside the HTTP listener and requester. So we are using the HTTP connectors. So you can apply the policies on the HTTP. So we are this one is a simple connector. This GraphQL is a connector, so you don't need to worry about these policies. So whatever the policies you are applying on the REST API, you can apply here also.
Okay. So while
Can
calling
we?
from Postman, just put those
Yes, yes,
authorization headers. Anything.
yes, yes. And one more question we have: can we build MRET for this? Yeah, sure, Smithy. We can create MRET test cases for this. So simply, what as you before you created MRET test cases, same as it is, you can create test cases for this because you can mock the request component and get the data. So this one is a connector. So it will means you can get MRET test cases. Uh, it's not a problem. So.
We have one more question from Sandeep. He's asking, can we change GraphQL dynamically on the fly?
Mm, yes, can we change? Yes, so we can in the request in the request we can change dynamically this request. Uh, I don't know I got your question correctly or not, but in the in request you can create your query dynamically and you can get the data. And if you want to add more APIs, then you have to put the schemas. You have to add the schema inside your source main resource folder. We have created the schema, so you have to add the your endpoints there. Also.
Okay. So Arun, you mean we can just put some transformation here and change this query as we need?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
it's like modifying what came from Postman.
one more question, but in the JSON we define the security schema. Here in the GraphQL schema structure also we need to define it. Actually, on top of this GraphQL schema, you can create your YAML file because we are using the HTTP listener. So you can define the schema there. So this graph will validate your all the fields here. If you don't, actually, I'm not able to share my screen, but otherwise I will show you the in from the postman. Like if you will pass the incorrect ID or this field name, so you will get the error like GraphQL router, like not this field is correct, and from this line you are passing the incorrect values. So, but one more disadvantage is there. You will get 200 OK status code when you will pass the incorrect fields here. So you can handle this error by the package block, or you can handle inside the mule flows that kind of error. How do I handle it? I think, yeah, Smithy. So we can handle this 400 byte requests and all errors inside your view flows. So actually, previously I said when you suppose you pass the incorrect ID, suppose first name only I pass only first. So your GraphQL schema will throw the error. Means GraphQL router will throw the error like this field's name is incorrect. So only with 200 OK status. So you can handle by the try catch block or something, you can handle this kind of error message inside the rule flow. So yeah. Mm. Any other question? Main API which we call in all the three system API. So yes. So here first flow is configure the request.
One, this one.
This is the balance flow for calling. So here I have created the inside the experience API. You have to create the customer balance flow. Okay. So here I'm using this GraphQL field resolver. So you have to pass the field name here, and then after the execute connector is there. So you have to pass this syntax for calling your attributes, and in the request component you are calling your this customer balance system API. So you can call system API. So this all this flow I have created inside the experience API simply. So you can call this, and this your main GraphQL router will route your request into all these three GraphQL field resolver. So yeah, this you can call your API like this. This is for individual for balance one. So I have created three. So Karthik, can you move to next step? This one for balance system API, and this is for transaction system API, transaction flow. So here I am calling the transaction system API in the last flow. In last image, you can see the transaction system API icon. And in the first, uh, previously I have created the for account system API flow. So you can call this all these three system APIs like this. You can create the flows. You have to put the GraphQL field resolver and then execute component for the getting the attribute details, and then your request component. So you can apply the policies, whatever security policy you want, you can apply in the request component. Another question is, if you deploy in Cloud Hub, is there any problem with you? No. So previously I told this one is a simple HTTP request API. So there is no change in your URL when you deploy it into Cloud Hub. It will be same. Only you have to pass this body inside your this query you have to pass to get the details. So there is no change in your URL. Okay.
Gautam, we actually planned. Arun has the demo ready, but he could not share his screen, so we could not proceed with demo. What
Yes.
I thought is, Arun, if you can share me the code, the
Yeah, sure.
Angular flow what you developed.
Yeah, I'm sharing the link of the code, so you can download and you can check. I'm sharing the GitHub link.
Arun, would you like to rejoin and try if you can get the access, or if you can do that? Would you like to rejoin?
What?
Yeah, try that, Arun.
Sorry.
You can rejoin and you can see whether then you're getting the access or not for presenting your screen, because I can see you have presenter access, so you should get the option.
I'm not
But
able to click on this share screen button. It's disabled for me.
no. So Karthik, you stop for once. You stop your. Now can you see, Arun?
Now I can see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Karthik was sharing, na?
Perfect, Abhishek. Thanks.
Are you able to see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
So here I have created three system API. First one is customer account system API. Second one is customer balance system API. Third one is customer transaction API. Okay. So here this is the customer balance system API response. Uh, I have put screen is very- Yeah. So here I have two fields, balance type and amount. So and there's a second one, customer account system API. Here I have put this eight fields: ID, first name, last name, mobile number, email address, PIN code, and account type. And this is my third system API. Here I have put four fields: trans type, transaction, trans ID, transaction type, trans amount, and transaction date. So this is my third system API. And this one is our experience API. So in the experience API, first I have created this schema folder, and inside the folder, this is the customer GraphQL I have created. So here, this is the structure of your GraphQL query. So here, this is the account for getting the account details. I mentioned this, all the field, eight fields here. So you have to mention all the fields here inside this schema, inside the schema. And so I have created this schema for balance, transaction, and account. And then you have to go to the customer bank system API. Okay. So you can see the GraphQL connector, and this is only two connectors we are using, this router and GraphQL field resolver. So this is our router connection, a router connector. So here this is the configuration for the this connector, GraphQL connector. So this configuration name is not required. Only schema location you have to provide here. Schema customer GraphQL. So because it will read the GraphQL queries from you, okay, and validate from you. And the second, so yeah. So I have created these three flows: customer account flow, and customer balance flow here, and third one is customer transaction flow. So I have created these three flows. So here in the first GraphQL field resolver, you have to configure the GraphQL configuration here, and in the field section, you have to provide the account name. So I have defined this account name here. Uh, I will show you. Yeah. So I have defined this account here. So it will get the details from here. It will validate from here, this details. So I have added this one here. This field name is account, and response body should be a payload. And in the execute section, you have to write this syntax for the getting the attributes from your request. So we are using the Groovy script. Engine should be Groovy. And in the request component, I'm calling here account system API. So yeah, so here I'm calling this account system API, and in the URI parameter, I'm passing this account ID, payload.parameter ID. Same, I have created this two flows, balance transaction, customer transaction, but our field name should be different for this group GraphQL field resolver. So for balances, field name should be balances because I have mentioned here this balances here. So it will validate from here. So I have mentioned this balances keyword here. Will fill in here. And then in the execute component, same you have to call this. You have to pass this syntax for reading your attributes, and I'm calling here system API. This system API and passing this URI parameter. So here account ID. And same I have created this customer transaction flow. So I have created this all these three flows here. Only the field name is different here. So also I have used the field name transaction. So I have mentioned this transaction here. So it will validate from here. This all this transaction balances and account. Other if you pass incorrect name, it will throw error. So here I have passed this thing, and this is the only this flow is completed here. So you don't need to uh, don't need to mm, mm, create don't need to add multiple connectors. So by using this is very simple API, so we have used here. So yeah, you can achieve. But right now I'm not able to open my Postman collection. I don't know. I'm facing some issue with Postman collection because inside the Postman we can use the GraphQL we can pass the GraphQL body. So that's why I'm not able to uh, I'm not able to show you the from the Postman collection. Let's try if it's till then I can show you the GraphQL. I have GraphQL router master. So I have downloaded this connect this router from uh, this actually. This is the link. So you can download this GraphQL router from this from here. So you can download or you can clone from here. And I don't know, my Postman is not working. So,
Arun, you shared link
so you can
in chat?
download after downloading the GraphQL, open the pom.xml, and I have put the this version. So you always use this 1.1.3. It's the latest version, and then do the maven fill
Arun,
command.
sorry. Arun, sorry to interrupt you. You're sharing Studio or anything else?
Please install.
Because we only
So
see
it
your
will
Studio.
install.
Would you want to stop and reshare again? Arun, you there?
Actually, I'm not able to open my Postman. Otherwise, I will show you the by changing the fields, so you can get the details
Okay.
by changing the fields.
Okay, you are only sharing a Studio only, so we don't see the other windows what you're sharing.
Am I audible?
Yep, you are audible. You are audible, but we are seeing only a Studio window. Probably you should share your whole screen instead of one window. You can stop sharing and reshare again.
Let's go to success.
Sorry?
Am I audible?
Yes, we're able to hear you. Clear.
I can't hear you.
Yep. Now it is stopped. Try resharing,
Hello?
please.
Hello?
Yes, able to hear you, Arun.
Let me join again just.
Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, if someone want to share your thoughts about GraphQL or comparing GraphQL with SOAP or REST, please feel free. We have mic access. I'm trying to give access to everyone, but only I'm able to give only a few people. Probably as example, I'll start. When I heard about GraphQL, I thought it is an replacement of REST a few years back. But slowly I realized REST has its own advantages.
No,
GraphQL. Yes, able to hear you, Arun. Want to reshare your screen?
yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm sharing now. Oh, are you able to see my screen?
We're able to see your studio.
Yes. So, should I start from again from system API?
No need. Probably you can see the questions.
Yes.
We have a question from Venkatesh asking to show the GraphQL router in Experience API.
Okay, sure. GraphQL router, right?
Yeah.
So this is the GraphQL router. Yeah. So you have to configure this module configuration you have to do here. So I will show you the configuration. So in the configuration, you have to provide the configuration name and schema location. So the configuration name is not required, but schema location you have to provide here. Schema location, because it's validate all your queries, all your requests from this GraphQL schema. So this is the router configuration. This is the router configuration, and yeah, and this is the GraphQL field resolver. When you are calling your system API, then you have to use this GraphQL field resolver. So in the field name, you have to provide the your account, whatever the keyword you have defined in the GraphQL schema. So you have to define here. So you can see I have defined this account inside this query. So you have to pass this field name inside this GraphQL field resolver. Yeah. So same, you have to define for this customer balance flow. Here I'm using this balances field name, and for your uh, transaction flow. So I have used here transaction.
Sandeep also has one more question.
Mhm.
If we change GraphQL content, then need to do a redeployment of the main API.
GraphQL content inside application, right? If you
Mhm.
change anything inside the application, suppose if you added one more application, right now I'm using three system API: account, transaction, and balances. So suppose if you want to add one more system API for credit information or something different, so you have to add this detail and you have to again redeploy this application. Yes, and if you are doing any changes inside the application, then you have to redeploy application. But for getting these details, like from the postman, you can fetch this detail by the according to a requirement. So you don't need to call multiple endpoints. From the single endpoint, you can fetch the details from all these three system API according to a requirement.
Okay. One more opinion or question from Sarath Chandra.
Mhm.
Is this GraphQL not increasing the overall development time?
No, GraphQL is not increasing over development time, right?
Yep, that is a question. Isn't it increasing development time?
No, no. Actually, this GraphQL it's using for the your purpose. Like suppose customer wants some fields according to his requirement. So you don't need to call multiple. In currently, what we are doing in REST services, we are calling multiple endpoints for multiple data structure. So in GraphQL, we modified this thing and we are filtering the data according to customer requirement. You don't need to call multiple endpoints. So I don't think you can simply just put this connector and you can achieve this graph. You can achieve this solution.
Hmm. Just I want to add my thoughts on this, Arun.
Mhm.
Sarath Chandra, you are kind of right. It is increasing some extra connectors, extra queries, schemas, but this is worth it because with one call, one API request call, you are connecting to multiple APIs, fetching data from multiple APIs and showing it. That is one thing. And also you are controlling, I mean, client can control what information he needs. If he don't want some fields, he'll exclude that from query. So if this is what you are looking for, then GraphQL is worth it. If you don't need all this, just a simple get call, a simple post call, probably REST API is to the go. That's what we thought, right? GraphQL is not a replacement to REST. You don't have to GraphQL. Don't have to go to GraphQL if you are not using it features. Probably REST API will work for you,
Correct.
right? GraphQL mainly suits Facebook. I mean, Facebook invented GraphQL because when you load a Facebook wall page, it has to fetch data from multiple tables. See, it has to count number of likes, dislikes, or comments, pictures. It has to show the ads. It has to show your friends list, right? All this will take multiple tens of API calls if it's the REST. So it will take too much time to load the page. With GraphQL, only one query, one request will fetch all the details, show immediately. So if that's a requirement, you have to go with GraphQL. It's not a replacement to REST. That's my thought. And since we are in this topic, I also want to mention this one as well. SOAP API is very famous, probably 10 years back. We all started our careers developing SOAP APIs, but we are not doing that now because REST API makes sense when there is no too much security needed. If not making any payment bank transactions, REST API is good enough. But we still have SOAP APIs because of security. Probably even 10 years in the future, SOAP APIs will still be there because of security it has. Just to tell you, please read on the WS security, SOAP WS security. It shows how much level of data security can be SOAP structure itself. SOAP schema itself, WSDL itself can have some security. That makes SOAP a good one for secure API calls. Probably I'll stop my ranting there. We have one question from Rishikesh. How is this different from a process call, calling multiple system APIs and combine data as per the needs? From a consumer perspective, even this is a single call to process API. Or would you want to take this?
Yes. So here GraphQL, what we are doing here. So simply it's taking this our request component is simply taking all the data from this system API, and in the experience API we are just filtering the data. So time perspective, there is no change for calling the APIs because we are fetching all the details. But in the experience API, we are just we are filtering the data according to requirement. So according to requirement, in the experience API or process API, you can use the process API also as well as, and you can so you can define the router and inside the process API, and you can fetch the details from the system API. So it's just a gateway on top of your on top of this your application for filtering the data.
Yeah. And Sarath Chandra, you are kind of right. It is shifting the orchestration to the client. Same thing Rishikesh also mentioning on that. It is same like aggregation or scatter gather, right? But the main advantage of GraphQL is controlling the information. If you're having a process system API, it will send all the data, whatever is you get from backend, database, something else. But client can control what information he needs. He don't want all the information you are sending. He will decide what fields he needs. That is the advantage of GraphQL. Right, Arun?
Yes, yes. Suppose you have two web application and mobile application. So for mobile application, we have required only this name field and name and first name and last name. So you can press only first name and last name in the mobile application, and in the web application you have required all the fields. So you can fetch all the details with the same endpoint, with the same application endpoint. You don't need to call multiple endpoints here. You can, with the same endpoint, you can get the details according to your requirement.
Probably if you would have tested, that would have been cleared many doubts. Probably
Yes.
we could not
I
test.
I will share the GitHub code link, so you can download the code and you can check from your side.
Okay. Share me that in chat now.
Yes.
Possible?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Okay. Nice. Any more questions? Any more thoughts? I think if you have mic access, you can unmute and talk. You can correct me if I said something wrong. We all are learners here, right? Nobody is expert. Nobody knows 100%. Arun, we have a question from Sandeep.
Mhm.
You want me to read it out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for. No, if you can read, actually, I'm on another page.
Okay. Sandeep says, if we have a process API also in
Mhm.
between, then
Mhm.
how do we call the system API using GraphQL?
Yeah, so you can define the router and the GraphQL router inside the process API. So whatever the data you are getting from the system API, so simply you can we put this router inside the experience API, right? So you can put this GraphQL router and schema you can define in the process API, and you can get the details. And suppose you have between the process API and experience API, so you can pass all the details to the experience API, and inside the experience API you can define this logic, means whatever in it depends on your request. So whatever fields you want you can get from the process API as well as from experience API. So you can define the router and the schema inside the process API as well. It's simple graph. It's a connector, so you can use in your system API as well. You can use, suppose your system API is calling another backend services, so you can use the router inside the system API. And suppose your process API needs only 4 fields, so you can use the GraphQL router in process API, and you can get the details from this. You can pass the GraphQL query as a request in this for the system API and get the details only 4 fields. So you don't need to get all the details from the system API. So you can put this as you can put this GraphQL character in each layer, every layer you can, according to your requirement. Am I clear?
Yeah, Sandeep said okay. No questions? We will move on to the quiz. I sent my email. Okay, we have a question from Anuj. Can we use RAML generated flows along with GraphQL router?
Yes, yes. You can use XAML as well as GraphQL router. So you can, on top of this GraphQL router, you can create your ML, and you can use this GraphQL router as well.
Okay. One question. If we scaffold with RAML, we will have API kit router, right? So should we
Yes.
remove that and replace with GraphQL router?
No, actually, suppose if you already define some logic, some validation in your RAML file, so you can use that RAML file. But GraphQL router it's a kind of filter, so it's just filtering your data according to your query and sending to the customer. So you can use the GraphQL router as well as API router both.
Okay. Okay, Anuj, since you brought up this, I want to mention this one now. If you have a RAML, you may having flows for get, post, right? But in GraphQL, everything is a post because we are sending the GraphQL query in the body. Right? Everything will be a post. We'll have only one endpoint. There are no multiple endpoints. Right? So there are no different methods, different resources. We'll have only one resource. Almost everything will be a post because we have a query. Body has to be sent. So RAML generated flows not needed in reality, in real time.
Yeah, I put the link in chat,
Yeah.
so you can download code from here and you can just check from your.
We have a question, Arun,
Yes.
from Jeevan. We cannot update system APIs, right, using GraphQL. Can you update system APIs using GraphQL?
No. Actually, suppose if you want details from your backend services, like you are getting 5 fields from your backend service, right? And in your process API, you need only 2 fields. Then you can use the graph API. Okay, so you have to pass the GraphQL query in a system API request, and then you will get only these 2 fields. Okay, so you have if you want detail, suppose according to a requirement, it depends on your requirement. So in suppose your system API you are using in 3 process API, and one process API needs 4 fields, second API needs 6 fields, and third API needs 8 fields. So you have to you can define this GraphQL. You can put this GraphQL connector inside this system API, and according to a requirement, you can get the results. You don't need to change. You don't need to add multiple endpoints for this different kind of data.